Vale. Job is going to start with the first question. Job, go ahead.
Hi. Hello, Dr. Craig. Can you hear me well?
I can.
Okay. Yes. My first question is more like a theological question, because here in Latin America, it is becoming popular, or it's growing, a theological position that opposes to the use of arguments or scientific proofs for the existence of God. They say that we cannot do that because God is not an object in space and time, and therefore we cannot adduce scientific proofs for his existence. So reason is far away from God, right? So there is this objection within Christianity, right? So what do you think about this theological position?
Yes. Before I address the question, let me just say to all of you how appreciative I am of the work that you're doing with Reasonable Faith throughout Latin America. You folks are really our hands and feet on the ground, in contact with real people and impacting their lives personally. And we are so grateful for what you're doing. And I have to say, as I reviewed some of the questions Raul sent me, it reminded me of my statement that if a person will master the contents of On Guard, my book, he will be able to answer 95% of the questions that people have. And as I looked at these questions, I thought, these chapter directors belong to the other 5%. These are extremely interesting and sophisticated questions that you put to me today, and I hope to address at least most of them adequately. Now, with respect to the question you just asked, ironically, I think that Thomas Aquinas, all the way back in the 13th century, answered that question perfectly adequately. Aquinas said that we do not have a direct and immediate knowledge of God, but he says that we can infer God's existence from his effects. And so Aquinas would reason from things like change, contingency, moral values, complexity, and function back to God as the ultimate source of things like design, contingent existence, causality, and so forth. And it seems to me that Thomas's argument or his position is absolutely correct. Now, I would also say that this kind of general objection, this sort of sweeping dismissal of theistic arguments, just becomes irrelevant when you present the person with a specific argument. Confronted with a specific argument, it doesn't do any good to talk in generalities anymore. He has to show you which premise he regards as false and why. So these kinds of generalizations, I think, are not very impressive, because once you have an actual argument in front of you on the table, then you've got to deal with the premises of those arguments and can no longer talk in generalities.